So I just finished playing Echoes of Wisdom, and boy, do I have mixed feelings about this game.
Royce! Oh, let's go! That's class!
I don't play Legend of Zelda games for combat, but why is the combat system in this game so horrible? I was willing to wait and play the game to see if the combat was as bad as it was in the trailer, but all the fighting in this game just looks like... I feel like Nintendo noticed how bad the combat system was and threw in Sword Fighter mode, which is also very bad. Why, instead of giving Zelda any unique ability that has been presented in every other Zelda game, and even Smash Bros, they give her an ability that just turns her into Link? At that point, we're not even playing as Zelda anymore, we're just playing as a Link clone. So as I'm editing this, I just realized that I forgot to mention automations, which in my defense, I only used it once and I'm pretty sure it just broke immediately. So I'll just show you this footage and you can determine if it was really useful or not. Then there's Bind. This is just Ultra Hand from Tears of the Kingdom, which was a copy of Magnesis from Breath of the Wild. There isn't really much to say about this. Lastly, there's the Tri-Rod. This just lets you copy an item and place it wherever you want. Both Bind and the Tri-Rod feel like items thrown in last second to make the game open world. I get that since Zelda has a Triforce of Wisdom, making the game more puzzle-based would make sense, but could they really not think of anything else but giving you the ability to go in creative mode and do whatever you want?
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay!
So, the puzzles in this game are so easy that my grandma could do them. There were times where I would get stuck on a puzzle for a second, but all of them were pretty easy. Most of the puzzles can be solved by using these echoes: the bed, trampoline, plant, boulder, and flying tile. A lot of the puzzles usually have one way to solve it, especially during the first half of the game. You really only get an important item or ability when there's a specific puzzle that requires it, but by the time you get there, you've probably already forgotten about it by then. But it was cool to see that the traditional dungeons came back, even if all the dungeons in this game are very forgettable. So I'm just gonna get this over with and say that this game isn't hard at all. Most of the puzzles and monsters are able to just be damage boosted through. On my playthrough, I was just able to damage boost through a bunch of enemies, and that's even with 2 times damage. Which, it's not like I'm complaining about that, because most people I talked to complained about Tears of the Kingdom being a bit too difficult for their likings. So it was kind of strange to move from Tears of the Kingdom, which was kind of difficult, to Echoes of Wisdom, which it was really easy. So this game has 2 difficulties, hard mode and normal mode. Hard mode makes it so you take 2 times damage and you can't get hearts from grass, which isn't that big of a problem since getting hearts from grass isn't that big of a deal, since it's not going to be your main source of HP in this game, since you have smoothies that can get you up to 15 health easily, and beds. With a bit of waiting and the right items, you can easily get up to full health. But most smoothie recipes don't really do anything, since most of the recipes just give you lightning proof, fireproof, faster swimming, which can easily be solved by using things like accessories, and by the time I got to the areas that were actually required these resistances, I kind of forgot they existed. One thing that was really confusing to me was energy. Energy is used to stay in sword fighter mode, but I kind of thought that it would be more of a finite resource instead of something that you're able to just make a smoothie and get it over with. There are also might crystals, which can be used to upgrade your energy level and your might sword, bow, and bombs. I honestly don't know why bombs are in this game since you can use bomb fish, and you usually get bombs at the second half of the game. And speaking of might crystals, there are 150 might crystals that you're able to find, and once you upgrade both your energy level and your tools to the max, you have to find 25 more for an extra item. So this new tool must be like a super strong new sword or like a new weapon or something. No, it's just a energy refill outside Luberry's house, which if you can't tell, you won't be going to Luberry's house that much, so it's not that helpful. And there are also smoothies, so this really just sucks. So I think we could all agree and say that Zelda is pretty much just a reskin of Link in this game, which reminds me of the Breath of the Wild mods where you're able to play as Zelda, but it's just a skin. But now I guess it's official by Nintendo. Like I said, I don't play Legend of Zelda for the combat, and I don't usually focus in on the story as much as I do now. But the combat in this game is pretty much just you sending people to fight for you. And since this is the first official Zelda game where you're able to actually play as Zelda, I kind of expected her to actually do something. Or say something at least. There's an actual reason for why Link doesn't talk. It's so you can insert yourself as Link. But since the beginning, Zelda has been able to speak, so why take that away from her now and replace her with this silent protagonist? It really sucks that Zelda is just this soulless vessel now with no personality traits, and the traits that she does have just copies what Link already has. I feel like this flaw is shown during the end of the game when Zelda rescues Link. Why does Link just nod awkwardly at Zelda while she stares at him in silence? And I forgot to mention that Zelda's partner, Tri, speaks for her the entire game. The game's story isn't that interesting, but I did think that the entire idea of the Rifts taking over the land of Hyrule was pretty cool, but you pretty much just get the mumbo jumbo about trust, friendship, courage, and something about save your friends instead of eating cum. I didn't really understand that part. But there was one quest that actually did kind of make me like the story a tad bit. It was the main mission with Conde. Is that his name? I forgot his name. I feel like the rifts could have been done so much more better in this game. The first time I entered one, I was kind of expecting like a boss fight or something, but pretty much all I got was some boring puzzle. I know that the game is more based on puzzles, but there could have been an equal balance of puzzles and actual bosses, because most of the time, when I entered a rift, it was just a really tedious task of just searching for Tri's friends. The final boss is such a letdown, because you upgrade all your weapons and you prepare for this fight, but you just hand them all to Link so he can fight for you. I'm not trying to say anything, but don't you think that the only thing Zelda has to do in the fight is provide echoes while Link fights is kinda sexist and messed up? Come on, Nintendo. But seriously, I feel like the fight would have been more fun if you were able to actually, play the game. Most of the fight was just me spinning around like an idiot while my echoes and Link did all the work. Once you get rid of sword fighter mode, the game gets so much more dull. And I feel like that's shown in the final fight so much, because you're literally not even doing anything. And I feel like I'm just repeating myself here, but can I at least play the game? I kind of upgraded all my stuff. I spent all these hours trying to prepare for this final fight just for me to give all my stuff to Link? Without sword fighter mode, Zelda is just a girl with a bodyguard. No, not at all. In my opinion, this game was a major failure. But the reason I made this video is because I saw so many people praising the game, and I saw so many videos just praising the game. So I feel like I kind of just had to throw my opinion in there, just to be like different, I guess. But I can agree that there were some pretty cool things in this game, like how many of the bosses are references to older games, and that the world is pretty much just a link to the past, but expanded. And it was cool to see some of the races come back, like the Yetis from Twilight Princess and the Deku Scrubs. But I just want to say, when I started recording my gameplay, I was already mad because my capture card broke and I had audio problems. And then, while I was editing, my external hard drive broke, so maybe I'm just taking my anger out on this game. But like I said, it was super cool to see all the older references to older games, and the music is just beautiful. But it really just sucked to see how dull the game was and how many things felt like it was added just to make the game open world. And by the way, I forgot to mention how ugly the costumes are. This is the first official Zelda game where you get to play as Zelda and you can't even give her a good outfit. I regret both buying and 100%ing this game. But hey, at least I can play on my limited edition Legend of Zelda Switch Lite while drinking a Prime Energy drink.